New York City, often referred to as NYC, is one of the most iconic and influential cities in the world. Located at the northeastern tip of the United States, it serves as a global hub for finance, culture, art, and innovation. With a population of over 8 million people, NYC is known for its incredible diversity, drawing residents and visitors from every corner of the globe. The city comprises 5 boroughs: Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Staten Island, each with its unique character and charm. From the bustling streets of Manhattan, home to Wall Street and Broadway, to the vibrant neighborhoods of Brooklyn and Queens, NYC offers a rich tapestry of experiences. Before we start, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like the video. Thank you. New York City, city and port located at the mouth of the Hudson River, southeastern New York State, northeastern US. It is the largest and most influential American metropolis, encompassing Manhattan and Staten Islands, the western sections of Long Island, and a small portion of the New York State mainland to the north of Manhattan. New York City is in reality a collection of many neighborhoods scattered among the city's 5 boroughs: Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, and Staten Island, each exhibiting its own lifestyle. Moving from one city neighborhood to the next may be like passing from one country to another. New York is the most populous and the most international city in the country. Its urban area extends into adjoining parts of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, located where the Hudson and East Rivers empty into one of the world's premier harbors. New York is both the gateway to the North American continent and its preferred exit to the oceans of the globe. Area 305 square miles, 790 square km, Pop, 2010, 8,175,133. New York White Plains Wayne Metro Division, 11,576,251. New York Northern, New Jersey Long Island Metro Area, 18,897,109. 2028, 804,190. New York Jersey City White Plains Metro Division, 12,449,348. New York Newark Jersey City Metro Area, 20,140,470. Character of the city. New York is the most ethnically diverse, religiously varied, commercially driven, famously congested, and, in the eyes of many, the most attractive urban center in the country. No other city has contributed more images to the collective consciousness of Americans. Wall Street means finance. Broadway is synonymous with theater. Fifth Avenue is automatically paired with shopping. Madison Avenue means the advertising industry. Greenwich Village connotes bohemian lifestyles. 7th Avenue signifies fashion. Tammany Hall defines machine politics. And Harlem evokes images of the Jazz Age, African American aspirations, and slums. The word tenement brings to mind both the miseries of urban life and the upward mobility of striving immigrant masses. New York has more Jews than Tel Aviv, more Irish than Dublin, more Italians than Naples, and more Puerto Ricans than San Juan. Its symbol is the Statue of Liberty, but the metropolis is itself an icon. The arena in which Emma Lazarus's tempest-tossed people of every nation are transformed into Americans, and if they remain in the city, they become New Yorkers. For the past 2 centuries, New York has been the largest and wealthiest American city. More than half the people and goods that ever entered the United States came through its port, and that stream of commerce has made change a constant presence in city life. New York always meant possibility, for it was an urban center on its way to something better, a metropolis too busy to be solicitous of those who stood in the way of progress. New York, while the most American of all the country's cities, thus also achieved a reputation as both foreign and fearsome, a place where turmoil, arrogance, incivility, and cruelty tested the stamina of everyone who entered it. The city was inhabited by strangers, but they were, as James Fenimore Cooper explained, essentially national in interest, position, pursuits. The landscape. The city site. Sections of the granite bedrock of New York date to about 100 million years ago, but the topography of the present city is largely the product of the glacial recession that marked the end of the Wisconsin glacial stage about 10,000 years ago. Great erratic boulders in Manhattan's Central Park, deep kettle depressions in Brooklyn and Queens, and the glacial moraine that remains in parts of the metropolitan area provide silent testimony to the enormous power of the ice. Glacial retreat also carved out the waterways around the city. The Hudson and East Rivers, Spite and Dival Creek, and Arthur Kill, in reality, estuaries of the Atlantic Ocean, and the Hudson is tidal as far north as Troy, the approximately 600 miles, 1,000 kilometers of New York shoreline are locked in constant combat with the ocean, as it erodes the land and adds new sediments elsewhere. Although the harbor is constantly dredged, ship channels are continually filled with river silt and are too shallow for more modern deep-sea vessels. South of the rock-bound terrain of Manhattan stretches a sheltered deep-water anchorage offering easy access to the Atlantic Ocean. In 1524, the Italian navigator Giovanni da Verrazzano was the first European to enter the harbor, which he named Santa Margherita, and he reported that the hills surrounding the vast expanse of New York Bay appeared to be rich in minerals. More than 90 species of precious stone and 170 of the world's minerals have actually been found in New York. Verrazzano's daring expedition was commemorated in 1964, when what was then the world's longest suspension bridge was dedicated to span the Narrows at the entrance to Upper New York Bay, only the third largest American port at the time of the American Revolution. New York gradually achieved trade domination, and by the mid-1800s handled more than half of the country's ocean-going travelers and commercial trade. After 1900, New York was the world's busiest port, a distinction it held until the 1950s. Cargo containerization, the obsolescence of its waterfront piers, and soaring labor costs shifted business to the New Jersey side of the river after the 1960s. But at the beginning of the 21st century, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey still dominated the water trade of the northeastern United States. Climate and plant and animal life. The average temperature in January is about 31 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius, and in June about 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 22 degrees Celsius. But recorded temperature extremes range from 15 to 106 degrees Fahrenheit, 26 to 41 degrees Celsius. Because of New York's moderate climate, the harbor rarely freezes. The annual precipitation is 44 inches, 1,120 millimeters. The city's flora and fauna are testimony to the rapid changes in the ecosystem imposed by urban settlement. In areas that once were hunting and fishing paradises for several bands of Native Americans, the most prevalent animals today are the cockroach and the Norway rat, both introduced to the city via trade with Europe. A wide variety of animal species are still found within the city, including 80 species of fish, scores of birds from the peregrine falcon to the pigeon, and such mammals as the raccoon and the occasional urban coyote. Wildlife refuges at Jamaica Bay and in Clove Lake, Staten Island, and Alley Pond, Queens Parks provide sanctuaries for many species, allowing them to survive even within an unfavorable city environment. Vegetation has sufficient precipitation, but has been reduced and destroyed with the advance of urban sprawl. The dominant characteristics of contemporary city plants are their ability to thrive despite acid rain and air that contains large components of ozone, vehicle emissions, and industrial byproducts. However, the city's two botanical gardens, one in the Bronx and the other in Brooklyn, are highly regarded throughout the country, and zoos in every borough enchant visitors of all ages. The city layout. The city's ancient bedrock provides the immovable foundation for hundreds of modern skyscrapers. New York has more of these awesome structures than any other world city. Architects may argue about the origin of the modern skyscraper, but most agree that Manhattan was where structures with steel skeletons were combined with the elevator to create a genre of buildings where great height could be reached practicably. The very word was coined in the 1880s to describe this New York phenomenon. The earliest pathways for moving around Manhattan Island followed animal and Native American trails across difficult terrain. Broadway still follows one of these routes, which extended northward through the island. City planning was foreign to burghers in the 17th century, and roads were haphazardly authorized. Only a few important ones to outlying agricultural communities were maintained, and it was not until 1798 that the city appointed a commissioner of streets. Colonial nonchalance is still visible in the meandering streets of Lower Manhattan. The optimistic spirit of the town is apparent in the street plan adopted in 1811, a grid of blocks, avenues, streets, and lots extending to the northern reaches of the island. City Hall, located now as then in Manhattan, was at that time so far removed from the center of activity that its northern facade was left unfinished, since few could imagine it would ever be seen. Although often modified in specific cases, the rectilinear patterns imposed upon Manhattan in its infancy have determined its developmental patterns, and other boroughs adopted the system after the creation of Greater New York in 1898. The building of Central Park interrupted the grid, and road construction there pioneered concepts of limited access and transverse running roadways. In the 20th century, parkways were incorporated into the traffic patterns of all boroughs, as Eastern and Ocean Parkways in Brooklyn, Riverside Drive Manhattan, the Grand Concourse the Bronx, and Queens Boulevard attest. Regardless of all its efforts, the modern city is infamous for the volume of traffic that clogs its well-laid-out street system. The economy. Central Park breathes life into the city's urban landscape. As you stroll through its verdant pathways, you experience a place where nature and city coexist harmoniously. The park, with its picturesque bridges and quiet nooks, becomes a canvas for the changing seasons. More than just a green space, is a vibrant paradise of culture and leisure. It's where joggers, artists, and families converge. Here, iconic landmarks like the Alice in Wonderland statue and the Conservatory Garden are found. These invite visitors to step into a realm where the hustle of New York City fades into the background, replaced by the soothing whispers of nature. Top of the rock ... at the summit of Rockefeller Center, the vibrant energy of New York City reaches new heights. Here, visitors are treated to a 360-degree panorama that captures the essence of the city's grandeur. The skyline, a mesmerizing blend of historic landmarks and modern skyscrapers, stretches out in every direction, offering a moment of awe-inspiring clarity amidst the bustling city life below. This elevated platform provides a unique perspective, where the iconic silhouettes of the Empire State and Chrysler buildings stand tall against the backdrop of an endless sky. As your eyes wander over the lush expanse of Central Park, the view intertwines the natural and urban landscapes of New York in a breathtaking tableau. New York has long been a hub for shipping and transportation, with its Dutch-English merchant class playing a key role in colonial governance and commerce. The city established the first Chamber of Commerce in 1768 and, after the American Revolution, rapidly revitalized its shipping industry, becoming a leader in exports and imports by the late 1790s. The introduction of the steamboat in 1807 revolutionized transportation, and by the mid-19th century, New York was the busiest port in the world, renowned for its shipbuilding, including the Yacht America, which won the first America's Cup. In banking and finance, the Bank of New York was established in 1784, followed by other key financial institutions. The New York Stock Exchange originated from the Buttonwood Agreement of 1792, with significant growth following the opening of the Erie Canal 1825. Despite economic challenges, New York solidified its role as a national financial center, attracting major corporations,